And where we're at?
My name is Esmeralda Hurtado. We're here at the Santa Cruz County Courthouse.
How did all this start?
Well, I was really involved in the encampment in 2024 at UCSC, and well, some of the UCSC police don't really like me, and they took it upon themselves to really target me during and after the encampment. So I was arrested again a second time following the encampment on October 7th of 2024. And then between those two arrests, I had files charged after. And I was the only one from the entire encampment at UCSC who had files charged against me. And so so I've just been dealing with this for the last year. Yeah, that's how I got here. But now it's over. Now it's over.
What were you facing?
Oh shit. It was one count of assault on an officer, one count of delaying an officer / providing false information, 2 counts of resisting arrest, and there was another count of something else that I forget right now. But yeah.
Wow. And what kind of sentence did those carry?
They were all misdemeanors, none of them were felonies. So I think at the very most, if I got charged with all of them, I think it was like a few years in jail, but it wasn't anything that was too awful because they were misdemeanors and not felonies. So I'm very grateful for that.
Right. And so they offered you diversion like on the way to pretrial?
Yes, yeah. We never made it to trial.
What was that, like 6 months ago or so? Or?
Yeah, we got offered, when was the last court date, Christine?
It was about half a year ago.
Half a year ago? Yeah.
And
wow, really?
I think.
Wow.
I thought it was in November.
Yeah, that's about half a year.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Holy shit. Okay, yeah, so half a year ago, I guess.
So and during that time you were able to do community service with who?
I did community service with the Center for Racial Justice, and I was just helping out with various projects, like the Santa Cruz in Color project, which was the last large project that the Center for Racial Justice put out, and I was just helping out where I could. I wasn't one of the lead researchers, so I was helping out the other researchers just with logistics, coordinating, planning, bringing equipment, setting up interviews, those kinds of things.
Very well. Now that your record is clear and you're free again, what are you going to do different you're not going to quit, right?
Oh no.
So now you got a little bit more strength and experience of what to do and supporting others. What's the next step going to be?
The next step? Oh. Yeah, graduate.
There you go.
I'm graduating next week, so graduate.
Wow.
And then,
Are you graduating early?
yes.
How did that happen?
I came in with a lot of units. I did a lot of AP courses in high school, and I passed those exams. So I came in with quite a number of units, and then I am just very rigorous in my studies, and so I was able to get it done in 8 quarters. 8 quarters while homeless and having charges and a bunch of other shit. So yeah, I did it.
Wow, that is a lot of focus, a lot of drive, a lot of brilliance.
Any reflections? You're at this stage right now, but you've been through so much. You experienced homelessness. This is actually the 8th court appearance that you've made. It's dragged on and on and on. The UC administration didn't lift a finger to support you. And so, but despite it all, you could see that the community turned out time and again.
Yeah.
And so I just wonder, reflecting back on all of this, any sort of thoughts you want to share with us?
I have a lot of thoughts. I think some of them are a bit more jaded.
Yes.
I'm very, very grateful for the community's presence, for coming out and supporting me. And also, it's very present and aware in my mind that very few students actually came. And all of the people that I was actually in the encampment with, I think I saw maybe, over the course of these 8 court appearances, I think I saw maybe 2 of them the whole time. And so that is very deeply upsetting, and it makes me think a lot about what solidarity actually means. But yeah, I'm very grateful for the community that did come, and I think it really taught me about the scope of our movement and who are the people who are actually going to continue doing work after it's no longer, the hot thing. But yeah, I think many people my age, many people that I was in this movement with have a lot of thinking to do and a lot of reflection to do about why they weren't here and what their priorities are, and what they should be going forward.
Well, it's wonderful to see so many people here.
And so, Esme, you were almost, not even almost, you were single-handedly, maybe that's not exactly true, there were other cases, but you were almost single-handedly bearing the weight of criminal charges from the encampment. And so, clearly you were being made into an object lesson.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you were supposed to serve as an object lesson that would strike fear into anyone who wanted to organize. If you organize, this will happen to you.
Yeah.
But actually, isn't there an object lesson for the university, for the UCPD, for communities also that haven't shown up for you? Like, what's the lesson?
Yeah, I think there's a lesson in conviction and in principles and what it actually means to stand for something. I think a lot about the resistance fighters in Gaza and how they show up for their communities, and just the insane technological difference between the Zionist occupation and the Palestinian resistance. And videos of resistance fighters, running out of tunnels in flip-flops to go disarm tanks. And I think there is something very powerful there in what leads people to act and what motivates people to act. And I think this process is also one in showing that our convictions for liberation and our commitment to liberation will always be more powerful than their commitment to hate and their commitment to violence and power. Yeah, I don't know. They can't win. They can't win. You can't sustain yourself off of that kind of negative energy. You can't. There's nothing. You're not fighting for anything, right? You don't actually want to create anything. You just want to destroy. And I think it's not sustainable. There's no way you can ever sustain that. And so, yeah, I think they're bound to lose. And I think this is showing that in one very small way, but I think it is showing that.
Thank you. Mom and Dad, do you want to speak? No?
We're good. We're very proud.
Oh,
Happy
you
every
should
day.
say that. Can we?
Well, no,
yeah,
we are
okay.
very proud of Esme. I think she's a brilliant kid, and I mean, it just I'm just amazed, amazed at her mind.
You know what? You've shown up steadfastly. And has this been a journey for you?
It has. Oh yes.
Where did you start and where are you at now?
Well, it was. I'm not gonna lie. It was nerve-wracking to know that our kid had been arrested, and especially like I said before, we send our kids away to college to have a great experience, and then to know that she was trying to advocate for something good, and they're trying to shut them, not let them voice, how they feel about something that's wrong. It's illegal. We should have the right to protest, and especially when we see something that is not right. And if it's like clipping their wings. They're young. We shouldn't do that. So I'm glad that
in addition to being angry at the administration, you're incredibly proud of your daughter's courage.
Oh, I am. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We've learned some lessons,
Well,
good
so
lessons
what
from.
What have you learned from your daughter?
I just admire her bravery. I don't know. I don't know that I'd be that brave. So I really do admire that.
Ruben, what are your thoughts?
I'm glad this is over.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're done with the court. I'm glad that there is no consequences or no negative things for Esme. So I'm glad that it's over now.
Yes.
Wasn't it moving to hear the judge, not at this court appearance, but at the last one, when she
Yes.
spoke about being a student who attended protests
Yes.
in her youth,
Yes.
and just understanding that you have to push the boundaries of these kinds of arbitrary rules that are meant to repress you in order to, actually, to even have any kind of ethical high ground, you have to do that. And so there was something about that was so moving to hear how it sounded like she was saying that she saw herself in Esme,
yes.
right?
Yes. And
Yeah.
I was I was so happy to have had her as a judge.
Oh gosh, we lucked out. Thank
Yes.
goodness it wasn't
Yes.
the other one.
That she
other one
understood.
sucked.
Yes.
Yeah.
That she understood and that she remembered, being young and being in that position. So that was very good. Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I've only known Esme for a brief time, and in that time, you've touched my heart because of the dedication, and it's real. The real dedication is just like it's refreshing because I can't do it anymore, and so it
Yes,
gives
you
me.
can.
I'm old.
No.
My body's falling apart. I'm trying to get back, but what I'm saying is the dedication you have. I still have my mind, but the dedication you have is it's so refreshing. It really is, and I am elated. I'm over the moon that sometimes the court system can work, because it really doesn't work for us. When I say us, I mean people of global majority. It doesn't, and I think you didn't mention, but I know because I had a very wonderful afternoon with you when Esme told me a lot about herself, that you never really interacted with the law. Other than, and I'm thinking that is just really not the place where one should have a confrontation with the law for doing something that is our right as Americans.
Yeah.
I put that in quotes, air quotes. So all I want to say is that, yeah, I'm just really bowled over, and I'm thrilled that you're going to carry on, because we need people like you, because there's so many oppressed people everywhere, and they don't understand, but I think you do. And being such a young person, so thank you. Really,
Thank you,
honestly.
Cheryl. And we need you too. We need your stories. We need your wisdom. You're
I'm not
still
going
part of
anywhere.
this.
I'm not
Exactly.
going anywhere. I'm
Exactly.
not putting myself in the front line.
May I
Because I
say
can't.
a couple of words?
I
Wait,
won't.
yes, okay, hold on, it's really fast.
Yes, Esme, when we're talking about the other students who didn't show up for you and about solidarity, I'd like to also put it into the context of Palestinian Samud. I mean, this is what they talk about, but it's something that we should be emulating, because
Embodying.
they're at the front, ground zero, and I see you as emulating them more than any of these other students, and they should think about that, and we should all. I know, as Americans, we're under a lot of stress about all the horrible things that are going on in our country, but nothing compares to what's happening in Palestine and some of the other countries, Sudan and Congo and all of that. So we should bear that in mind and just keep going forward and be strong and be courageous
Yes.
So,
and keep doing what we need to do.
And hey, this, in so many ways, like we think of this as a far off remote issue, Esme fully understands how it's connected to institutions, research institutions like the university, how the devastation of the genocide is intimately linked to here, right? But we also have members of our community. One of them is Rola Al-Aibi, and you've worked very closely with her. And, her story reminds us of why we cannot we cannot rest, actually. So can you speak about what you learned today? And can you
Yes.
say something about what Rola has already experienced?
She has experienced and is continuing to experience. I have worked with her a lot. We're going to be doing a number of interviews about her beautiful book called Nora. Oh, I can't remember the full title. It's a long title, but it's a beautiful, beautiful book about Palestinian wisdom and how it can teach us about expanding human belonging. And even as I'm immersed in writing about Samud, informed by my dear friends' testimonials, when you can catch her, because she is so busy dealing with everything that she has to do as a lifeline for her 20 members, which has been reduced by 2 more, because we heard yesterday that 2 more brothers were killed by the Israeli forces. This is just shocking, and it's staggering. I suppose it is not unexpected, and the Alaidi family was preparing for that. That's why their families were spread out in different places, so that if they were under fire, as some other families were completely destroyed, that no more in their family line, so something like that would not happen to them. But when this happens, it is just so staggering. So now she has 217 members of her family that have been martyred.
And she lives in Monterey.
She lives in Pacific Grove, and she's dealing with all of this.
And she's tried to reach out to Jimmy Panetta.
She has, and it took that office about 1.5 years, and by that time it was already too late.
And they did nothing.
They did
nothing.
virtually nothing. It was more like kind of insults. And by the time that she had gathered up enough money to go to the border to Rafah in Egypt, the border had closed. So if she had gotten more help in the beginning, then I don't know. I just feel like the office could have been much more supportive. At the time.
But he wasn't supportive because he took hundreds of thousands of dollars from AIPAC.
Yes. And surely that would have been in the calculus of things as to why he took so long.
Blood money.
Yes.
Do you want to introduce yourself? What is it this?
I'm Unhe Langus.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Cheryl Williams.
Do you want to say what organization you're part of?
Yes, Cheryl Williams, founding director of Santa Cruz Black Coalition for Justice and Racial Equity, Santa Cruz Black. Cheryl Williams.